Welcome to our fourth. We started in March, April, May, June 2023. AI tools, hacks, and AMAs, and nearly 420 odd have registered. So, and most of you will be looking the recording. So thank you for registering, and all the people who are in live. Hope you all are doing well. Thank you for joining. A lot of familiar friends. Thank you for love and support. So obviously, 1 month is a long time in AI. So we pick some of the interesting stuff and we'll share it. Plus, based on the frequently asked questions, some of it we answer it during this session, some of it we address it during courses, because you can't do that within 1 hour every month, right? So you're inspiring us to create more and more content, which is what all this is all about. So any queries, any issues that you face, or even before you start, what do I do, etc., that's all we are building up, and I hope we are inspiring you to test it out. That's the underlying principle. We started long back while people were just talking about what AI can do, but here we are. So let me go. Typical. Okay, so in March, we just introduced many people will be left down. So please don't be the lost bidders. It's time to at least run to somewhere safe. If possible, protect yourself. It's coming. This was in March, and I made a lot of enemies by doing that. And we started to say, okay, what's ChatGPT, and what's happening here. And we introduced what we call the AI optimized process. And very quickly, we launched the beta bootcamp, right? And we had some founding leaders who just started it, and now they're accelerating their growth. Next, there were a lot of noise in April about, oh my God, AI is going to take over a lot of jobs. We looked into what jobs, the high risk report. We just told, what, there's no more lost bidders. It's already becoming late for you if you don't jump into this wave and just go from there. Then just giving people assurance, only this task can be done, only that task can be. No, we also discussed everything could be done. Then that's where we introduced our AI news update, which is our newsletter AI Scoop, came into picture there. And now AI Scoop will be much bigger and broader, and Scribble newsletter now will become AI Scoop going forward from June. So we looked in some of the plugins, why plugins, and other stuff. And then we gradually went on to talk about, there was concerns about, regulations, what do we do on data and stuff. And we kind of gave an update on those things as well. So all these recordings are available in our YouTube channel in Baachu Scribble. So please do watch it, and please do subscribe, because we do pump all the content there and it's free. So subscribe and help us there. So AI, and the plan is to just give you confidence that during April, it's not going to be AI against human, it's going to be AI plus human. And then we looked at few stuff, and there are a lot of comments that we looked at, so. And in May, we looked at the privacy features. Gradually we looked at how we can use the privacy features, and we are tool agnostic. We are not just going to talk about ChatGPT. We are going to talk about Bard, and today we are going to talk about what are the alternate free AI tools. Remember, you should not be constrained by the tool. Your creativity, your strategic thinking is the limit. What tools gives you that? If 3 tools gives you that, you have to use those 3 tools. You don't be constrained by any kind of AI tools that tells you, come and use our tool. Don't be dictated by the tool. That will be my underlying message. Because there are a lot of sponsored sessions. It's happening left, right, center, telling this, this is it, that's it, etc. The survival game has begun. Because when I talk about lost bidders on the game, it's not just about individuals, it's also about companies as well, right? So, that's the thing that we looked into, the sponsored stuff. And you can imagine the moment we posted it, there was just 1 talk on AI and it increased to 8. So, and then gradually we started to introduce other things, because this is here for us to stay. And this is where we introduce also the 3 phases of the AI-powered bidding. Initially, it's all about learning. It's about you. Then you're going to inspire others around to say, it's not as bad as you think. It's not as it's not as fancy as you think as well. It could be the other way. But it definitely is something to explore, and you're going to gradually start. And then you just see, okay, now you're going to bring more and more people, and you're going to create a little process within your company to say, what are the do's and don'ts? And then only you're going to look for tools and stuff. Tools is the very end. As the technology moves very fast, anybody who goes and puts themselves in any tools now is only going to make it very expensive, because we are going to touch about those things in the next few slides, right? That's where we left main. Today, it's going to be even bigger, right? Let's go. So news, Bing, today, as you know, ChatGPT is not, doesn't have web access. Oh my God. So that's a big problem. So which means it's not up to date. First of all, how much do you know? I always challenge people. How much does ChatGPT know about your company, your buyer, your customer, your market? First, do you know that first before you even go and comment about it's not latest, etc. Right? Just go and do that. So, but the world is more and more integrating. Now, this is just what we call Copilot, which we looked into that in April, because what Microsoft is doing now, and Bard has already done it, Google has already done it. What Microsoft is doing now is, in not foreseeable future, most probably even before the next AMA, I'm betting, the July one, Bing will have an inbuilt search engine, which is going to be, ChatGPT will have an inbuilt search engine, which is Microsoft Bing. Right? So built into it. Imagine now, that's what you're going to do. Interestingly, Bard already has it. So while they both are competing with providing the best-in-class service, that's how AI is evolving. They all are playing to our strengths. So where it's going to evolve is, today you might have a separate tool that says, okay, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that, etc. Imagine if you already use Microsoft SharePoint, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Outlook, Microsoft PowerPoint, etc. And now Copilot integrates everything with ChatGPT and others. Don't worry about the police car, the place where I live in. You hear this every other hour. It's common. So primarily, they are going to integrate. And what they are now going to do that is, okay, now we are not going like in a typical Microsoft style. We are going to integrate with our suite of products, but you could now customize it for your own needs. You could not just customize ChatGPT, you could customize the entire Copilot. Copilot is the Microsoft version of Outlook plus AI, Microsoft version of SharePoint plus AI, etc. You could customize it to suit your own needs, right? It's becoming amazing. I think let's not go too much about it. We will touch that in the upcoming webinar, which I'll touch in the coming days. So next, but let's not go too much about ChatGPT. We are going to look into Bard. The Bard, let's be nice to Bard as well. So ChatGPT Plus is reasoning is very high. I think for some of you who are just joining this for the very first time, this is going to be over the top, because we're building the content from very early on, right? From the very first webinar was on March the 2nd, then March the 9th. Then anybody who attended some of our paid workshops might be more advanced. But if you always attend our AMA every month, it's more than enough. So we are building from there, but please do go back and revisit if we haven't revisited. So let's have a quick look at Bard as well this time. So Bard primarily, is similar to ChatGPT, but what it has, it's ChatGPT at the moment has 2021 data, but very soon it will be up to date because of the Bing stuff. Whereas here it supports different languages, and it's also available more or less to everybody in 180 countries. So the most other stuff is now Bard also connects to your Google Ads, analytics, web analytics, and all the cool stuff, which will come back. So I know you don't have this, but if you can have this, this is where the world opens for you. So if you have a Google Workplace account, double check if you have a Google Workspace account, if your company use Google. If you don't have it, you can get it. You can sign it and get it, Workspace. Workspace is nothing but, you can use the Google suite of products like Google Docs, Google Sheets and stuff. This is where cool things start to come. Primarily what you're telling here is, hey, I'm logging into my Google account, corporate account, and I'm connecting, saying, hey, please, can you allow me to connect to the apps? And now you're connecting to Bard. Then what happens? So you could, and try this. I don't know, in the outside, in the free version, I'm not sure this is there. But when you connect it, bar.google.com, it log in, because obviously if you log in and have an account with Bard, this is what you could do. You could search it, and whatever it comes in, you could directly add a question in the chat, Mirza. So I can answer it. You could directly, connect it, export it to docs, or you could export it to, oops, where am I? Or you could connect it to Gmail, or you could do it docs. So in ChatGPT, you just need to copy paste it, but in this case, you could directly export, because this is what Copilot in live for you. Google Suite of Products automatically connects it for you. And if you can have it, brilliant, job done. This is how easy it's going to be. You search elsewhere and you come out with that. Did you see the button Google it? That's another fancy one. So what happens here is you're searching that in Bard. Again, you should try this, because you should try this. So you're searching that in Bard, and Bard gives you an answer. But we are so used to using search for the past, I don't know how many years in our life, right? You don't need to retype that question in Google. You could simply click that button, Google it. It tells you what Google results are in the next tab. It automatically opens. Obviously, Google Chrome is their browser as well, right? So they integrated Google Bard, Google Chrome, and primarily Google Search. So it's very cool. If you have the thing, it's important for you to try this. So you can see how the integration start to work. Next one is, if you have the workspace account, you could also try to get redrafts. Imagine 3 people are working on the drafts, right? Oh, I know these companies are bad, where they don't allow you to integrate it just because they put an outright blanket. I know some of my close friends, even here, who joined this, have those restrictions, without knowing the capability of it. That's why we are launching the data, AI, and risk framework governance specifically for friends like you. You could take it and you could sit down with the team and say, can you justify exactly why you did the reason? Or if so, are you open to discuss why you have done this? Because these are the alternate options. So in this case, assuming you have access to it, what it does is you can create at least 3 different options for the same content, right? So you can have the theme, and then you can also have what we call the regenerate button here. So try to have the workspace account. So primarily you can see how the user experience is improving. So imagine you are asking a question and it gives you 1 response. Then you ask, no, I don't like it, rewrite. Instead, it gives you 3 drafts. And then you just look into 3 drafts, and then you could then make a call about, okay, compare why this is important, why that's not important, etc. Right? So that's good. So what else? As of mid-May, end May, any response that comes out with Bard, it also gives you the sources. So one of the challenge that you find in ChatGPT is it tells you the answer, but it doesn't tells you, especially facts. I would not use ChatGPT for facts because it doesn't give you sources. But for writing, amazing, yes. But for Bard, you could try that, because Bard now also gives you not just the content, but also the sources below. This makes it easy for you to verify the pages from where it comes on, so that you could say, hey, my responses, my research is based on XYZ, right? So it connects to Google search. It gives you 3 options. You could regenerate. It also gives you the sources. All this happened in less than a month, right? So let's go. So this is it. Any questions on this, put it in the chat box. Mirza, if you have any questions, add it in the Q&A, and I'll just answer, but anybody else. So now the question is, oh, this is cool. What else is out there? So the other one, which I strongly recommend you play with it before next time, is ForeFront. Because ChatGPT 4, you need to pay $20 a month, to have something, and then it gets out. If you use it more than 2 hours or something, if you ask too many questions, then it defaults into 3.5, which is the faster version. So what else do I have? You can use ForeFront. So ForeFront, primarily we use it just for writing, but it also does images. So it's a free tool, but unlike Bard and ChatGPT, which is beta, this is alpha, right? So just go for it. So it's better. ForeFront, chat.forefront.ai. Do that and then double check it. So any content today that we are generating, we are asking the same question to 3 or 4 different AI tools, just so that we could compare which language models does it use, because not necessarily all the language models that ChatGPT uses is the same as Bard and it's the same as others. So the way you can differentiate yourself is, yes, prompts are one. You could ask the same prompt, different prompts within one tool and refine it. But the other one is, it's step one itself. Why can't we vary? That's ForeFront. If I ask the same question in Bard, ask the same question in ChatGPT, ask the same, and then see how does it answer? Why does it answer that way? Same prompt in 3 different tools. ForeFront, absolutely amazing. Try that. And anybody who tried it and send me feedback, I will tell you something special. Because we just want you to embrace AI. That's it. So the next one is Aura. Aura AI is similar to ForeFront, except you can actually call AI. At the moment, everybody is using ChatGPT, whereas in this case, you can actually build your own custom chatbot. What does it mean is, it's the same. It also connects to a lot of language models, but in this case, you create a name for it. In my case, my bot is called Cuckoo. As you know, Baachu bot is called Cuckoo. So you can create a fancy name, then primarily you could engage with it. How am I, like a colleague? And then you could do the same. Ask questions and start to write. So what does Aura? Aura is here. Again, absolutely no cost. This is where I'm telling you, when any tools company does any sponsored session, because they're desperate, because the market is totally disrupted. And if people who are already subscribed to this is using it, they might be thinking, what? You are just plugging in here, but I can get the best use of it here. But I don't, before you actually add any content, your own content to it, always check the data policies of these things. But primarily, you are just getting the baseline response for understanding basic without giving any information. It's amazing. Just do that. So I strongly suggest, if you're not even using Aura, please to use ForeFront. That's the one thing. Right. Many of you told, Bhaskar, we talked a lot about writing. It's time to do, because especially some people loved my favorite tool, which is Decktopus. If you haven't used Decktopus, please use. This is by far, out of the 420 odd people, if I ask them to rank which is your best AI tool, Decktopus comes on the top. Amazing tool. So again, the tool dictates you, but the tool is clever. For example, you can do the same thing there are some AI tools for writing. I've seen it where if you just go and put a subject, it automatically start to write around that subject, which is okay. But this is specifically for presentation. I wouldn't use it for writing a tender, because that's like exactly the same concept where everybody will get the same thing, whereas this one you won't. So let's start with the basic one. In this case, you have the ChatGPT. So in ChatGPT, there is a plugin called Show Me. So see whether you could download Show Me. And what does Show Me does is, any written text that you're writing it then goes back and creates diagrams within ChatGPT, which you can lift and drop. And also, you can also edit the diagram online. The only glitch with this is, use it in your personal laptop, because it does install, because remember, the reason these guys are giving it for free is because all these are part of the same thing called Discord. Discord is like family of developers who are passionate about open artificial intelligence, and they are the one who are driving it. And they just want to give you more and more tools that's going to help it. And if they want to ask free, give free, but then any special thing, they charge a little bit, minuscule, $10, $20, $5, $9, etc. So you can just download this, and then you just simply need to install it, and then you just navigate to it, and you just go with it. As simple as that. Then once you log into ChatGPT, it just comes as a plugin. I think if you have used any ChatGPT plugin, all the plugins get added, and when you log into ChatGPT, a Dropbox comes in, and you simply go with it. Try this. Another homework for you before next time. So Remini, let's talk about something, because people change jobs, right? And this one, This one is very, very clever. So, but where we use this is, we do have many people who come to us for bid writing, consultancy kind of a job. And in the past, not necessarily everybody has a profile photo and you need to pay money for these things. What do we do? And similarly for past performance and CVs and others that you need to create for your company, you may need to create a nice profile picture of your chief exec or any technical experts or even you to put in the CV. Come in Remini. So as it says, it creates realistic photos of yourself that looks like they were taken by a professional photographer. So, so I just want you to try this and let me know how it is. And I was playing with this. So this was in one of the thing, and obviously we use it within the team as well. So it, I don't use Instagram Reels or anything like that, all the filters, but on a professional level, you can use, you can take your pictures and you can just use this to do it. And it's powered by AI. So again, some of the tools might already have it, like social, we don't know all the tools, but we found this very, very useful because this was very, very particular. You're not using any other tools, but it's very, so you try to use Remini, for creating CVs, CV profiles, images, and also anything, you have just face pictures or any other pictures. It's very, 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 very strong, right? But you need to pay a little bit more to get remove the watermark, and so it's like $8, and you could put unlimited pictures out of this. So it's a very, very interesting tool, right? And it also creates, once you put your pictures in and then say, hey, okay, now can you have my picture in different ones? You just create different ones. So that's it. Decktopus, as I told you, one of my favorite tool. It's an AI powered presentation generator. Please do have a look. So, I requested one of my graduates to just work with this and said, hey, I want you to create 30 different courses, one a day. And every single course should have minimum 20 slides to it. And every single slide should be based on the frequently asked questions about the topic. In the ideal world, this might be taken him or her at least a week. You need to go back and check what are these sources, what are the questions people ask about it in Google, or there's a tool called Answer the Public, which we saw March or April. Answer the Public, you create, then you need to create the content. She used this tool to create 30 courses, each with 20 slides, specifically asked about, not just about concepts, best practices and all this stuff, all about how to, this is it, how to, and all these things, less than a week. So it's unbelievable. And if you are stuck in creating, suddenly somebody asks you, hey, can you pull the slides on, health and safety or a particular topic here and there, try this, it's amazing. This focus today is going to be this because there is another stuff which I'll share at the very end, a surprise one. So again, you might be using different tools for creating this, but now, again, I wish my team also comes to these calls to understand what I speak. I've been pushing them to use all these tools, but this is another tool, very, very simple. If you are a one person writer, manager, designer, etc., explore this tool, Designs.AI, very, very simple tool. And it helps you to, create designs quickly. So I am not an InDesign person. I am not a Corel Draw person, Illustrator person, etc. This will be a very, very good startup for you, right? And Designs.AI. How many of you do infographics? So this tool, again, in a recent bid that we worked on, we created 10 infographics in less than 2 hours, 10 infographics. So VennGage, again, less than $10, right? You just put the high level concepts. This is what I want to do. And it just automatically does it in different forms. So I suggest, again, depending on who you are, depending on your role, try VennGage as well. So what's the other must? This one is again for Google people. Again, Slides.AI. Slides.AI because it's again for Google Bard, because we also need to, the other ones relies on ChatGPT, whereas this one's relies on Google. So similar to Decktopus, this also does it. So, but the clever thing about this one is you simply copy a text, right? So you simply copy, you are just given a text. Okay, it's section 2.1. Explain your mission, vision, values, and how it aligns to our vision, values, and talk about how our joint partnership will work for you. I assume there is always a question like this, right? You just put that question in this, just a response or some question to it. It will then use that information. Then it goes back and finds that information behind about the customer, about what you have written. Then it automatically puts 10 slides. Boom, 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 60 seconds. So if somebody asks you to talk about, hey, how does your mission, vision, values aligns with it? It even goes back and picks up nice content that suits the particular thing. So it's unlike these tools where this tool is as well, you give a basic information, it creates infographics. Whereas this tool, basic information, it creates 10 slides. This tool is called Slides.AI. Slides.AI. I'm sorry. It's called Slides.AI. Right? So try that. This is slightly advanced. When you're doing an executive summary and stuff, it's you have a template, right? But this is top end, where it takes the same information and it gives you in like a storytelling, right? So you can use it in any conversation. For example, everybody will be talking about hot buttons, value propositions, then pulling that in different things. Whereas this tool tries it differently. Tome is amazing. Again, I am using it, but as a company, I understand. Not everybody will be on the journey, but I'm really gutted that there is a whole world out there for us. In the past, we used to do flip charts. We write it, and when we take a picture of that, send it to the designer. Designer does like half what you ask him or her to do. Today, it's all been cut, and Tome is amazing. Please, these are some of the tools that we'll cover in the graphics masterclass, which is going to come up next. So Tome, that's where we end, I think. So some of the design tools, I already talked about it, because we were focusing more on the writing tools like Quillbot, WordDune, Grammarly, and so last time. But a few of you has asked, hey, how about design? So what are some of the tools that you can use? There are a lot more other tools, but these are the starting tools. But more of that we will try in the special bootcamp because we can't cover everything in one. So that's it. What happens here? I already, it's like, I think last time we talked about AI regulation. Yes, the worldwide global AI policy is now coming closer because European Union have already drafted it and it's been nearly approved within EU. And that's going to be the basis for all the G7, the big G7 countries. And they all are going to come down to our borders here in the UK, talk about AI safety, and more or less things will be signed off this autumn. So it's amazing to see that all the countries are coming together rather than this is my policy, that's my policy. They all realize this is a priority rather than we reinvent the wheel. Somebody makes the heavy lift, which is EU in this case, and then others are just checking, okay, how I could customize it for my own need, because you might have seen Italy in the European Union has their own policy. Japan has come out with, hey, I want you to tell us the sources, what you do, etc. So again, that's where you have the OpenAI chief exec, and you find all these big companies, AI chief exec, just going on a tour just to meet all the political leaders and tell them, hey, you know what, we have just opened it up. I know it's a Pandora's box, but it could be used mostly for good stuff, and there will always be bad people who are trying to use the bad things, but help us to curtail the bad stuff and help us to reach all the good people who will be benefiting out of it. And it looks like the countries are coming together, and UK will be hosting this summer, and I'm glad it's happening here. So we are going to do that. So this is what we did last time. As I mentioned, many of these things can't be covered in a bootcamp because people specifically asked, Pascal, last time in the inaugural bootcamp, we had 3 people who are in federal contracting, asked us, Pascal, we want to focus on how we can apply AI for federal contracting, and that's what we are doing this time. Right, in June, the specific bootcamp. The second bootcamp, we are focusing on this. The initial thought process last time was, okay, we are going to reach out. I know this time is not ideal for a lot of people. I know Kiyomi, who's from Japan, is listening. It's 12:30 in the night for her. It's not fair and we can't do it. So what we are going to do now is something that's going to be for everybody. So we are going to, and as you can see here, we are evolved. We took your frequently because a lot of people send us messages, send us, hey, how about this? I'm using this, etc. And because you influence us to learn more, and when we learn more, we share it back to you, and that's it. So primarily, we are going to come out with a few stuff. This is news for you. It's going to only go live tomorrow, but you get this first. So there will be 45 sessions between June all the way to December, 45 training programs. This doesn't include the AMA session that you are part of today. And there will be 5 courses, plus there are a few more courses that I'll be introducing soon. For now, the Signature AI-powered beta bootcamp will still happen. Another 2 more will happen this year. Then we are going to launch an inaugural graphics and design bootcamp. It's like 8 weeks because we'll be looking at 3 main tools: Midjourney, Adobe Firefly, and we'll also be looking at Canva. Then we'll also be testing 12 AI tools, and it will be from beginners. I'll touch it what it happened because we just want you to get on with AI, whereas others just talk about AI. We just want you to get on with AI. The governance and risk, many of the question about data governance and risk, we just want to address it head on in a workshop. And that will be this, which means, okay, it's all great. I know I want to do it, but what do I do? How can I create my own checklist? I want to help my company to embrace this, but I know they are not here. But this could be a joint IT stroke sales stroke bid people, or it could be just for IT people and anybody who's in the risk team, just so that they could create a framework, because we don't want them to stop you from being the best, because at the moment we genuinely believe AI is going to make you best. That's what comes in. AI proposal writer, I will tell you a story next. AI mastery is the intense one, where the boot camps are for 6 to 8 weeks. Mastery mastery, the risk framework and the proposal writers 1 day. This is 4-day intense, because if you want 6 weeks, but you want to cut down and you want to do it in 4 days, that's it. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's very intense. AI-powered proposal mastery. We had the first cohort complete. The second will open soon. So this is the story behind it. While we were working on the tenders, because we have to, you might have seen my LinkedIn post, we have to do nearly 160 questions, and they had 2 bid writers, and they were anticipating 4 to 6 weeks to make the bid, and we did it in less than 7 days, right? So the chief executive asked me, Bhaskar, my God, it's going to make proposal writers lazy. Anybody have got that comment? It's going to make you lazy, and people start to say, oh my God, what's happening here? So we just want to debunk it immediately. And that's why we launched a proposal writer, because why? It's not going to make you lazy, but it's going to make you much, much more effective. And that's the story behind it, So I'll share that. So what's going to happen here is, people who go for all the styles writing and all the other stuff, and we are going to do this. We are going to introduce the AI writer, which is very good. The traditional way of writing is dead, right? I can write as good as Shakespeare now, even though English is not my first language, just by using style. That's at the very end. Can you write in the same style of Shakespeare? Means I can now emulate Shakespeare, right? That's all fair. But how I can still be unique, how I can still be myself. That's what this is about. So we just want to go one step. Because why? Because there are some frequently asked questions which we cannot address in the AMA, which are writing related, which are like, hey, what are the different styles available in the federal government market, available in commercial? What are the different styles that are used in India? You might know in Word, you have different things. What happens when you do UK English versus US English and all these things? We just want to specifically focus on the writing part. Frequently asked questions will be used there. So this toolkit there. How can you use Idea Generate for writing? How can you draft it? How can you edit, proofread it? And what are some of the basic tools and AI tools? And this is where we just want to debunk. We'll be giving the same question to all the attendees. As always, in any workshop, maximum 10 people. We'll give the same question to 10 people, and we just want to show to you how, even though I taught you the same principles, how the answers are going to be totally different, because you are unique. Because the way you process information is unique, you're going to bring in your own styles and you're going to come out with this, which means that's how you're going to debunk, which means you are going to learn your own uniqueness and you're going to use AI to come up with a very unique response. And that's how we are going to do this. So then some ethical aspect here and there. This course will be done in all the geographies. We are going to do it in Asia Pacific, like Japan, Singapore, Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, and Middle East, India, UK, Europe, Asia, then you have the US, Canada. So we are going to do it geography by geography, and we are going to get as many people on this because this is going to be full-fledged geography-based course. The next one is the graphics. Obviously, the pressure now is on because we have to do a tender, nearly 80-page tender, fully done in 3 days in the past because the person was on holiday. So, and my graphics designer hasn't used InDesign in the past because he used some other tool. So we use InDesign and we also use some AI tools and we created a 60-page draft proposal. So it is possible. It is possible. So what we want to do here is anybody who hasn't done design before, and you might be thinking, I will never be able to do design, or anybody who already knows design, want to enhance and do more design, this will be one. There will only be one boot camp because this is very, very comprehensive because it has 16 classes. Each has 1.5 hours. So you can imagine nearly 40 hours, and it's going to be workshop driven, right? So this is it. We're going to do AI in design, which means we are going to cut the clutter on the AI, how you can use it. And again, it might be beneficial for few or it might not be for others. So we just want to go and see how am I going to create the visual explainers, the rich pictures as they call it, then user journeys, the identity creation, the branding as we call it, then the style guides, marketing. Because this is slightly wider, so marketing team and the graphics team and the writers who are interested, who in the past have to spend $5,000, $10,000 to do an Adobe program, can now do it for, as you always say, 75% off. Then method statements and stuff. Then we are going to also add some design tools. So this is going to be a flag mark, second flag mark program, starts July. This we are going to cut the clutter. By the end of this workshop, we just want every person who's involved to know what's data privacy, what's data accuracy, transparency, accountability, ethical use. And by the end of the program, they will be creating or they will be using this to create a governance checklist. Because if the proposal person is involved, we'll also invite for free the IT person or whoever who does policy. So together you'll be doing it within this program. Half a day to 1 day, depending on the geography. At the end of it, you are going to create ethical AI. What does it mean to me and employee? Because this is why the IT people don't want to lose their power, and then they just want to do what it takes, and they don't really know the application of it, but they just want to protect what it takes. It's fine. We are here to de-risk it for you, and this workshop is predominantly around it, AI, data, risk governance. And the bidder program will continue as it is in 3 different geographies and 3 different programs, and the proposal mastery of an intense one. So more and more questions comes through, the more and more we are trying to address in the Ask Me Anything and offline, but some of it are specifically related to writing, some of it specifically related to governance, some of it specifically related to how I could do bidding in general, and some of it are related to, as you can see, with the other elements, which means we just want to bucket them, slice and dice it for different people. So you can look into our live workshop page now, and you can, there are free masterclasses, but again, money should not be an issue for anybody at the same time. We just want to give you the principles in this, and any advanced concepts, we'll cover that in the paid bootcamp. So next week, or the coming weeks, so this already started. The AI-powered AI tools is what's happening now. But what happens next is, I just want you to join this. And if there is anybody within your company who's interested to do this, invite them here as well, because we need to get on with this. There is enough of talking about AI, AI taking human and stuff. It's going to be there. And you have safeguarded yourselves coming all the way. You are not this bidders whom I talk about. So you are now safe. So these 3 workshops will happen. It's a 1 hour. Proposal writer might be slightly longer. I just need to work it through, but these 3 masterclasses are free, right? So you're going to focus on how you can use AI to write and not just talk about the concepts like capture research, executive summary, capture planning, RFP shredding, etc. Those are the stuff that we'll cover in the bidding and proposal workshop. This is specifically writing. If you are going for a journalist writing course, what do they cover there? That's what we'll cover, but with power with AI. So you might be finding it very interesting because it's going to be interesting for me as well. So design masterclass, because I know not everybody can join the boot camp because it's going to happen in one time. Oops, sorry. Oh, crikey, I don't know why it's on. Sorry about that. So, so graphics masterclass is there for you. So we just want to give you as many principles and introduce some of the tools so you can just play with it yourself. But if you want to enjoy the boot camp, you could join the boot camp. So July is where the activity kick in. I'll send you the link for live workshop. There is another thing called monthly AI workshop, because if you want to look at the monthly activities, I know we are going to introduce 35, 40 sessions. It's going to be clunky for you. So you can look at it by different workshops, like the 5 workshops, and you could choose which one I want to join in, maybe June, July, August, or you want to look at the calendar, which is monthly, and you could see which one happens. So in July, this is what we're going to do. The very first risk framework will be for the US, and then we move into this one, July 13. Then this will end on the July 13, the current program. Mastery begins immediately the next day, 4-day intense. Then the 1-day training workshop for US, Canada happens. India, Middle East will happen in July, but we are going to add on the same day. It might happen on a Saturday because of the timeline. But that's a writer workshop, 1-day writer workshop. It's not written there, it's a 1-day writer workshop on this. So that's where you have India, Middle East, and Asia Pacific. Because I need to wake up 4:30 a.m. in the morning to do this workshop, I will do it. Of course, you have been giving your time, why not me? I'll just do it. We celebrated our 7th of June yesterday, 1 year of our anniversary of what they did. And Africa is the same. I think the time zone wise, Faith, we'll bring Africa part of the UK and Europe, because it might be beneficial, because you're bang on with us on that time zone, right? We will bring you on the Africa one. So yeah, that's it. So this was last. It's been 1 year already, and we are doing well. And thank you for your love and support. I thought I would share this, and head of bidding is something that we started it, which was another flagship one, because some of you are actually leading teams, and especially in the very first cohort, everybody who joined in had the title capture director, proposal director, leading teams, and they got the principles. But what they missed it is how am I going to run my bid team in the AI world? How can I manage them? How can I make them more productive? Yes, the general perception is we can do a lot more in the shortest time. So how am I going to do that, etc.? So head of bidding bootcamp will be specifically around it. But again, I need to squeeze the time. But as promised, that's going to go live. In between, if there is anything, sales presentations, workshops or something, we'll squeeze it. So more and more question comes in, we'll addressing more and more, and wherever we go in. But otherwise, that's where I want to end it. Where I'll meet you July the 13th. There is any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I would love to see you, not July 14th, but for one of these, or if not all of these. The free masterclass, so let's cut the clutter on data governance. Let's cut the clutter on how am I going to improve my writing. Let's cut it on this. And if you find it useful, and you can always upgrade it to the next one. But please do join in, it's free. And it's going to happen around the same time, so it might be beneficial for most of you, but it might not be there for the Asia Pacific friends and Californian friends on this side. And that's why the full workshop might have all the other things. So that's it from me. Any questions, I'll be on standby. Otherwise, I will share you the link, browse it through. I'm sure there might be some errors here and there. But in general, these are the two links that might be beneficial for you. Number one is our live workshop site. We are bringing in all the program there. It's been updated as we speak. Because it's only going to launch tomorrow, but I just want to give you a quick snapshot of what we are doing. But at the same time, so here is the thing. Okay, I'll update Africa into this. And if I miss any other time zone, let me know, because we are here to squeeze it. This is where most of the program will be there. But within here, if you scroll it, then you are going to find the other one, where you can find all the free and little bit stuff. So just to quickly run through. So what we have here is This is for the monthly. If you want to click the monthly one, you can click here and look at the monthly one. They are still working on it. But as you can see here, workshops, you can just see here. So the courses are categorized, the five courses and the AMA are categorized. So you could click and you could go for your specific ones. And it also tells you as a high-level snapshot, what are the different dates for each of the programs. Or you could simply click and join for a specific program as well when we do the proposal mastery. These are $50, right? The overall program is $495, but for India and Africa and other places, it's $95. All right, that's it for the interns, but mostly you need to give up their time. If you don't attend, then that's not going to be useful for you. So all these things are there. Yeah, but a bit of flagship one, we are adding more and more because of the questions. We are also adding all these master classes. So these people will get this part of the bonus because anyway it's free, but it's important because as we evolve, we are adding more and more content towards it. That's the stuff. And again, cohort 2 is already on the progress, but if you are doing federal contracting, feel free to join up because we only finished 2. We still have another 5 weeks to go. You can find emerging economies and job seekers and established professionals just so that we can make it affordable. If you missed the June one, then we'll take a short break because it goes in July and we are going to come back in September. Then it's going to be November. So that's it. So the next one is the right. This is what we are more interested on. And what you find here is, this is the free workshop, 23rd, that happens. Please do join in. Then we are going to do it by different geographies, USA, Canada, India, Middle East. Then we have Asia Pacific and Africa will be there as well. Primarily, they're still working through. Then the next date, they're going to work on this. And primarily, it just characters different. So every month there will at least be one workshop for your geography. And if you can't attend one, you can do that. But this might be a long list of workshop and AI. So it introduces what the course is about, then it lists different dates. But the other way of looking into that is, okay, it also tells you, okay, this is a free masterclass that comes up here, but there is this one boot camp that happens. It's actually 8 weeks, not 6 weeks. Team is still working through. I'm just showing you the work in progress one, and that's it. But the other way of looking is, because this is the main page for us, the other way of looking is if you want to just to see, okay, I just want, this is too much. I want to know which program, I just want to know by month, then this might be helpful. So it just tells you, okay, this month, what's happening? Where do I stand? And you can just go for this. So this month, as I told you, we finished today and the bootcamp is continuing. 21, we have this, 23rd, we have this, and then 24th, 28th, we have this. Then we'll move on into specialist workshop where we are going to go deeper on each of those topics. So you can click more and you could understand what it is. But again, these courses, again, are based on curiosity, right? This course is created based on what you wanted. So during the program, if people say, no, I would like to also know the other ones, if you come to individual thing, it also tells you, okay, this is free and these are the upcoming workshops. At the moment, we are keeping it UK and Europe, but I'm sure we could, depending on the interest, we could open up to the others on this one. But that's it. So if you can frame this, then you can just go from there. So primarily, that's the overall thing. So you could choose by any different format. So you could choose by one program, you can attend all the free and do the AMA and be prepared for anything, or you could just come on board, because people who come early, kind of their mindset is all clear, like I'm going to use it, because there is no second thoughts. They're just ready and they're just going to go for it. So that means early you are prepared. It's just the tools that are updating and you just need to know the updates and you just need to go from there. So that's it. So based on your feedback, this is where we have landed so far. As more and more you give us the questions, more and more issues that you face, we can come out with it. And September, October, we are planning. Thank you. We are planning for a competition. I will announce that at the right time, but not yet. It's a global competition. It's a real live bid. Yeah, I will tell you at the right time. So, be part of this journey. Because there are a lot more that's happening within our world. So thank you. Hope you find it useful. Please do look at the YouTube Baachu Scribble if you missed the previous webinars. if there is any other suggestions like what Gaurav has done here, send it to me directly, or send it to me by message. So we can more than happy to create something specifically for you. Thank you for everything. And yeah, YouTube is there, Baachu Scribble, LinkedIn, we also update. If you haven't registered for AI Scoop, please do add AI Scoop. You can also get some insights. So that's it. Thank you so much. And the world is right there in front of you, and I hope to see you on the 21, 23, and 28. Thank you. Take care all.